Okay, thank you for joining me today. I'm going to do a couple of quick videos talking about espresso machines. And this is video number one. This is the basics, just to give you a tour of what's essential of getting home espresso. You don't need equipment this fancy, but there are some essential things that are required, and I wanted to kind of point those out. So first off is the essential machine itself. As you can see here, I use a prosumer machine, which is actually plumbed into the wall, but most of the entry-level machines will have a water pour-over tank for the back. Both will work. This one also has a built-in boiler, and one of the main advantages of a prosumer type of machine is it's quite large. This can be used in a small commercial setting or espresso trucks as well. But this machine has the ability to do all three basic functions at the same time. So you have your brew head, you have your water spigot for hot water, and then you have your steam wand. And in prosumer and higher end machines, you have the ability to do all three of those at the same time. In entry-level machines, you cannot do that. You either have to use the group head to make espresso, and then if you want to extract water for a lungo, then you'll need to switch over or flip a switch to allow the water to transfer to a different section. If it's a machine that has a built-in boiler, then it will take a little bit of time to warm up the water to do it. Or if it's one of the newer machines on the market today, they use a heat exchanger, so they have the ability to make hot water pretty rapidly, but you still have to switch from one function to the other. And then third is the steam wand. On the entry-level machines, again, you'll have a different switch. Well, you'll have to switch over to that, and then depending on the type of machine, you may need 30 to 60 seconds to allow steam to build up in order for steam to come out through the wand function. So on this machine here, I have the on-off button. I can also turn the boiler off. I have a double shot, a single shot, a water function, and then this is the control for the steam function. The Portafilter is this apparatus here, and this is what holds the espresso grounds. This is a double shot basket, and there's a couple different types of Portafilters on the market. Two basic types on the entry level. You're going to find one with a filter basket like this, where the coffee grounds itself is what determines the amount of time it takes to extract the espresso. This is what the high-end machines in the commercial restaurants and stores like Starbucks use, is the true filter basket. And then that requires a high-quality grinder and a proper setting to get the right grind matched to your filter basket and the machine. That'll be the next video where I talk about how to dial that in and how to get a good extraction. But right now I'm covering the basics. You can also pop this filter basket out and exchange it for a single basket like this one here. Or you can just purchase another Portafilter. And then I actually have two. This one is actually set up with a blank, so I put cleaner in here and I can clean the group head. Or you can flop that out and you can put in a single basket. And as you can see, I have a single spigot on this Portafilter. And then on this one here, I've got the double spigot. Okay. Other things that you're going to need, I love shot glasses. I think this is the best way to get a double shot of coffee. Shot glasses, I usually buy these. You can get them at restaurant stores, but I love to get them at thrift stores. You can get them for $1 a piece. But it's real important that you make sure when you buy these that you measure and make sure that you actually have 30 milliliters at the line. This is a high quality bar type shot glass, but as you can see, it's designed for 30 mLs. Same with this one here. And then what's interesting is some bars actually have cheater glasses. And they make it look like you're actually getting a full pour, but you're actually only getting half an ounce. And if you look at the rim width here, you can see this is all glass. Very little volume for the water. So this is how bars cheat. And sometimes when you go to thrift stores, you'll end up getting a cheater glass instead of getting a true bar glass. So just make sure that you always do a measurement to make sure this is set at 30 mLs, which it should. Okay, other equipment you need is a high quality pitcher. I like the 16 to 20 ounce. I typically fill the milk right to about here. You also, this is one of those nerdy things where it takes time to kind of develop technique, but the shape of this spout and also the size makes a big difference. You also never want to heat milk more than enough for one glass. Some people try to do 2 pours in a single. It's not worth it. You're not going to get the proper foam for each type of drink that you're trying to make. So just stick to doing it one at a time. And again, when I look on the inside and I fill the milk, it would be just below the spigot line there. Again, that's trial and error to get the right amount. You also need a high quality thermometer so that you can check the temperature of the milk. And I often bring my milk. I like it a little bit colder, about 160. So I go to the 140, 150 zone right there. And then I turn off the steam wand, and then the needle will float up right into that middle zone on the green. You also need a high quality spoon. This is to mix drinks. I also use it to scrape extra grounds off of the top of the Porta Filter in order to get the grounds nice and clean. And then you can also scoop and do other things with it. So a high quality long spoon is also important. Okay, you also need a waste bin of some sort. There's a bunch of these dump baskets on the market. When you get your grounds out and you go to empty them, you're going to smack it down. The grounds are going to come out. Makes the job nice and easy. Sometimes if you don't take the grounds out right away, it'll stick inside there. Another function of the spoon, I use the back end to scrape the grounds out and clean that basket. And then I can dump it into the bin. All right. Lastly, I want to turn my attention over to the tamper, which is located here. You need to get a tamper. They're not all the same. You need to make sure you get one that has the correct diameter for your portafilter. If it's not matched to fit that portafilter, then you're not going to get a proper tamp. That's important. Another function that, there's low-end ones that are plastic. This is a steel, and it's nice and heavy. It probably weighs about 6 or 7 ounces. Again, this weight helps compress the coffee and make a nice tamp. Using a tamper like this built into the grinder, I never use them. They just don't perform quite the same. Plus, you can't control the pressure that you put into the tamp. And then the most commonly forgotten item when somebody gets into an entry-level espresso machine is the grinder. And the advice I give people is most of the time you can spend almost as much money on a high-quality grinder as you do an entry-level espresso machine. You're never going to have really enjoyable coffee at home unless you invest in a grinder. If you go to the store and you get them to grind for you, it's going to be inconsistent every time you do it. So even though you might get a grind that works really well, it's not going to be consistently well because there's no way the same barista, even if you go to the same person, the same place and buy the same type of coffee, you're just not going to get the same consistency in the grind. Plus, even if it is consistent, it's not necessarily designed to match your specific machine, which is what I'm going to teach you in the next video, is how to dial in and match your grind to your espresso machine. This is, again, a high-end grinder. It's fancy. It's got a hopper. But what I really like about grinders and what I like about machines is I don't like all the bells and whistles and the digital stuff. I want to control the action. So I really like manual. Most of the manual stuff will often come at a little bit lower price, especially in the entry level. So I have 2 settings that are just dialed in here with a black marker. This is the setting I use for my home machine. And then I also have a machine at work, and then I just changed the knob so that I can change the grind setting, and that's how I actually have each grind match for each machine. 95% of the time when I'm on those settings, I'll have nice, perfect pulls coming through the espresso machine. Sometimes humidity changes, or if I ever change my beans, I'll have to go back through the entire process of matching the grind to the machine. Okay, I think that pretty much covers the basics. As we move forward in other tutorials, I'll talk a little bit more about techniques, matching grinds, doing weights to dial in the machine to make sure you're getting the proper amount of coffee in your portafilter basket and so forth. So stay tuned for the next video. See you guys later.